Hey everybody, this is Adam Drayson with Life in a Band. Today we are going to talk about the musicians and some of the venues and gigs and the comparison between Los Angeles and Nashville. And to me, I think there's a huge difference. Back when I was in LA, we had guys who actually wanted to be in a band. And for my whole time that I was in Los Angeles in bands, we had guys who were ready to commit, be a part of a band situation, and, did all the footwork. We all did it together. We were in the trenches together, and I think that's a big thing. It forces you to bond and have a relationship because you guys all want the same thing. And this is coming from an original act. We weren't playing covers. That was never anything I was interested in. I was the one who always formed the bands. I was the one who was the main songwriter. So yeah, it was my vision, but at the same time, we were a band. We all promoted. We all did what we had to do in order to try to make it successful. We all looked for gigs too. It wasn't just me. Sometimes it was, in other groups I was in, I was the main person doing all that stuff. And now here in Nashville, I've met a couple of guys who are into that band situation. But for the most part here, everyone is like a hired gun. And they're all into playing Broadway, and the way that they look at it, it's not like gigs to them. They call it shift work, because there's like 60 bars down on Broadway, and there's like 3 or 4 floors on each one of their bars, and you have bands on every floor playing different shifts, and they're doing 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., 2 p.m. to 6 p.m., 6 p.m. to 10 p.m., and then 10 p.m. to 2 a.m., and they literally call it shift work. And they're looking for jobs. They're looking for shifts. And they have Facebook groups that they post on saying, I'm available for shifts these days and these times. They're looking for shift work. And, downtown Nashville, all it is cover songs. There's nothing to it. I mean, and if you're calling it shift work, especially to me, it sounds like work. It sounds like a job. It doesn't sound like something I would enjoy, because where's your creativity? You're learning these songs, this book of songs of 60, 80, 100 songs of all the current hits and everything that the tourists come and want to hear, because they're not there for you. They're there to get drunk and scream and do their normal shit that they do, which to me, I would never want to do. To me, I might as well pack it in and forget wanting to play music, because to me that sounds awful. I've always been an original artist. I've always been an entertainer, a performer. I don't want to be the guy downtown making $50 base pay, because they'll give you $200 for the band, and if I've got 4 guys, they're getting $50 base pay. And I don't want to be out there pushing for tips and taking requests for $10 to $20 a request. That doesn't sound like fun. And I've talked to people here who say, well, if you want to play here in Nashville, you've got to go down and you've got to socialize with all these guys and get to know the bar owners and get to know all the musicians. Well, first of all, for me, that doesn't work. I really don't care to go downtown. I think it's a shithole. I think it looks like the Universal Studios backlot. I can't stand drunks. I don't like that style of country music. And I don't want to socialize with those guys, because for me, it doesn't do any good, because I'm not going to hire them. I have no desire to have hired guns in my band. You can't bond. And I think that there's something to it when you get a group of guys who have a very similar vision when it comes to music, and you guys work in the trenches together and you build something up from the bottom. There's something special about that, and there's something you can tell that you guys all want to be there. You all have fun doing it, and as opposed to playing downtown where you may bring in somebody on a shift who's never played with you before. They're there because, hey, I need the job for the night. You don't know that you're going to gel with them. You don't know if we're going to hit it off. I don't know. It just doesn't sound like the best situation. And I know that it's all about money and they want to, make a living playing music and stuff like that. But good luck, because I don't know anyone who's making a living playing music. And if you're making a living playing cover songs, good for you. That's just not my deal. And I have no desire to do that. I have more of an artistic vision when it comes to stuff like that. Also, the venues here, I don't care about being paid. And I've seen some things on Facebook pages that say, well, you're taking away, if you don't ask for money and you're not getting paid, you're taking business away from us. First of all, the original acts are not taking business away from the cover acts. We're not asking to be paid. We know what it's like playing these showcase gigs, which they are. I'm not playing 4 hours of filler material. I want to go up and play an hour and a half of original material with maybe a few cover songs mixed into the set, because when you can play something that you really like for covers, it'll come off as, hey, they're really enjoying what they're doing. This is something that they can relate to, and something that they're bringing to the table that matches their sound. There was a venue here that offered $175 to play a 90-minute set, and I thought, hey, that's great. I'm not looking to pay my bills with this. First and foremost, we all got into music for the fun of it, to have a good time, and because it's something that spoke to us. If we make money, great. If we don't, I don't care. We all have jobs. We all have day jobs that pay for our bills. I know I'm not going out there saying I need to go make $175 to go pay my power bill. It's not what it's about. And once you start treating it as, I need to make my rent by paying or by playing these gigs, it's go wait tables. You'll make more money doing that. And do the music stuff for fun, because that's the stuff. When you do it for fun, it feeds your soul. And I think that's what this city is missing. There's no soul in this city. I don't know what it is, but there's something lacking here. And it's been ever since I got here back in 2015. I think I've played 9 gigs here total from 2015 to now, 2024. Whereas, I was playing all the time back in LA. And the venues here, they tell me constantly, you sound too California for us. You sound, you don't have the right sound. You're stupid shit like that. Well, what's too California sound like? I don't get it. It makes no sense. I don't want to be the next country guy, because they're all a dime a dozen. They all have 2 first names. They dumb down their lyrics, so people can relate to it or people can understand it. I have no desire to fake it. I'm not going to throw on a cowboy hat and speak with a southern drawl. It's not me. So I don't like to fit in. If anything, I like to rebel against it. I like to do my own thing. I like to be my own person and show that, you can be a success without having to conform to what they want. They have a very big system here that I can tell. They have a formula. I read an article a couple years ago that there was maybe 6 different teams of songwriters writing a song called Day Drinking. And I know Little Big Town had their song Day Drinking, so I'm guessing they got one of those 6 songs. They picked the best one. Again, it's a formula. I'm not into the co-writing stuff. They have a lot of co-writing session stuff here. I'm not, I want to be inspired to write a song. I can't just go pack up my acoustic guitar and come to someone's house with two other people and, okay, I'm going to write a song today. It doesn't work like that. There's no heart and there's no soul when it comes to stuff like that. And this is what this town is missing soul. So when it comes down to it, have I had success here? No. I have had 9 gigs total. One of them was a festival, which was our last show that we did, and that was probably the best show we had because it was a festival, and people stopped and wanted to listen. And that gig, we played a bunch of surf tunes and a bunch of originals, and people loved it. They stopped. They were calling people on their phones saying, "You got to get down here and listen to this." And I think it's because it's different. People don't want the same shit that they hear down on Broadway, so I threw something completely out of left field to them by playing surf tunes and stuff like that, and they want it. But you can't tell the venues that because they don't give a shit and they won't hear you. I tried to book another show. In my area, I reached out to a venue and said, "Look, I know you book 4-hour time slots, just for the night." And they book it's from 7 p.m. to 11 p.m. I said, "Why don't we do this? I know you're paying like $200. It's not about the money for me. Let's separate it. Let's do someone from 7 to 8:30 or 8:45. Let's break. Let's get another band in and do 9 to 11 or 9:15 to 11. Let's make it a night, a night with these 2 bands." And they wouldn't do it. For us, it wasn't about the money. We can split the $200. We don't care. It's just about creating an environment, creating a night together that we can all enjoy. And that's how it was back in LA, was that, if you're on a bill at a venue with some other bands, you're playing with 5 other bands that night. You're playing 30 to 45 minutes sets. And that's what, you're getting your best material out there. You're not just playing filler. And that's what's frustrating coming here is, bands are a dime a dozen here, especially the cover bands, and that's all that they seem to want. They don't want original material. So that's where we're going to start on this one. Next time, we'll dive in deeper to another subject about being in bands. All right, and thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Hit like, subscribe, comment if you want. If you guys have been in a similar situation, I'd love to hear it. And coming up soon, we'll have some guests on this and hear other people's opinions. Thank you.